Hello and what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another live cast of the Summit 7. This is the semifinals, I believe. LGD and Secret both in a top 3 position, I believe, in this tournament. Loser will go to the losers bracket, of course, and play for third place, or they can head their way back up into the grand finals. But the winner of this will be guaranteed a spot in the grand finals. And so this is a pretty important game for both of these teams. LGD, I think, most certainly will want to win this series, guarantee themselves a top 2 spot at the Summit, because they're kind of a Chinese team that have fallen a little bit under the radar. They've been overshadowed by teams like Newbie and VGJ that we saw just eliminated. So as for the performance in this tournament so far, they've already done better than VGJ, and of course gotta mention IG there as well with Burning God, and he's made a good comeback in Dota this year on one of the stronger Chinese teams. And LGD was one of the Chinese teams that really were good, but they never stood out. And with a good showing at the Summit, I would say they're gonna make Valve look at them for a potential direct invite. If not, they're gonna have to play through the qualifiers to get their spot at TI7. But enough about all that stuff. Let's get right into the draft here, as we see LGD gonna ban out Nyx Assassin as well as Bristleback. I do think that those heroes are kind of Secret's go-to. You've seen Yapster play Nyx Assassin time after time, and as well as them picking Bristleback in multiple roles for Kezu in the offlane, as well as MP as a safe lane Bristle. One thing to note is they didn't touch IO at all, so is Secret even an IO team anymore? That's the question. I don't think so. Yapster might play the hero, but without Pylai Die, I actually haven't seen Secret pick IO. So that's interesting. They used to be a team that enemy teams had to first ban IO against, but without Pylai Die, it doesn't look like it's a thing anymore. As I mean, LGD definitely not paying attention to it here. And they've already picked the Crystal Maiden here, as well as Sand King. Of course, Sand King can be fit in multiple roles. But at this point, I'm assuming it might be a offlane Sand King. I mean, it could be support as well for Yapsor. I mean, it's a hero that you think he would do pretty well on. But I think the thing to note so far about this draft is LGD getting Night Stalker. That hero has been wreaking havoc in the Summit so far, and I think in LGD's hands, it's definitely going to be a formidable pick that Team Secret really have to play around. Just off of this first pick, Night Stalker alone, Secret really have to formulate their draft around it. If they don't have the right heroes to go against this Night Stalker, he can just take over the game, and at that point, the game gets super hard for Team Secret. And as for their bans here, they're afraid of a Drow Strat, and they're going to take out the Sven here as well. Either of these heroes kind of provide a lot of pressure in different ways. Drow being able to take down your towers real fast, while the Sven is going to be able to farm up those ancient stacks and get fat. And especially Drow with Queen of Pain. LGD favoring this Queen of Pain pick in the first phase, just showing how confident they are on Maybe and this hero that he can play, not caring what Team Secret are going to go to pick against it here. And in terms of picks against Queen of Pain, alright, they're going to spawn to it immediately here as their third pick. Dragon Knight going to match up here with Maybe's Queen of Pain. I was going to say they might pick something like a Puck, but I think the Night Stalker a little bit too strong against Puck. If he ever gets a silence on that poor fairy dragon, that Puck is as good as dead. So they're going to go with a beefier hero here, Dragon Knight, who's a lot harder to take down. But still, they do have the magic damage, so he's not invincible at all. And just looking at LGD's bans here in the second phase real quick, they're going to take out Silencer as well as Enigma. Enigma is a hero that Secret have been favoring in their offlane role, so they do think that this Sand King will be a Yapsor Sand King as a 4-position support, and assuming they're still needing to pick a hero for Kezu here, and they're going to third pick a Dazzle. This is going to give them good sustain. The armor is going to be a big deal in terms of being able to dive towers and just go deep. Just having that weave onto them, as well as having the weave to subtract from Dragon Knight's armor, as of course he's a naturally very high armor hero with his Dragon Blood passive there, giving him up to 12 armor at the max level. So I really like this Dazzle pick from LGD so far. It gives them a way to deal with this Dragon Knight. And Grave can always be clutch as well, as they do have very mobile heroes. So if the Queen of Pain gets Grave, Night Stalker gets Grave, they're most likely surviving, as Night Stalker can just run away or fly over the trees. Queen of Pain can of course blink. So I like how LGD is setting things up so far. And the reason why they did pick their Queen of Paints early is they knew that they're not going to be able to counter pick their mid anyway, as they don't have last pick. So they might as well secure maybe's hero and just start off with a strong draft here. Night Stalker, Queen of Pain. It looks solid, and in terms of Secret's response to it, they kind of just want to force something out of Secret and make them respond. And I mean, that is a legitimate draft style. We see teams do that as well and pick a core right in the first phase, most notably NP. They're getting their Ember Spirit right in the first phase. It's just a hero that they're afraid of getting banned when it comes to the second phase, so they're going to snag it up to make sure that they can get what they want. And so we're going to see another showing of Earthshaker here for Team Secret, probably for Kezu. I mean, 90% for Kezu. They still can decide to switch up these roles a little bit though. Sand King can go offlane, Earthshaker can be played as a support. YapzOr's support Earthshaker is pretty sick, so that actually might be a thing. I'm not so sure, but LGD gonna round out their draft here with another core pick on the Terrorblade. So they have the Dazzle Terrorblade combination.
10 seconds to go.
And as of now, Team Secret have decent illusion clear. I mean, Earthshaker, big AoE spell, so does the Sand King. Crystal Maiden has AoE as well as the Dragon Knight. But in terms of being able to just take down the Terrorblade without using their nukes, like once he gets a BKB, they don't have that big physical damage dealer yet. And let's see what Team Secret gonna pick up in response to this Terrorblade, as they're gonna ban out the Clockwork from LGD. He does give these heroes a hard time, burning their mana as well as blocking off the fight with Cogs, as Team Secret is kind of melee heavy at this point with 3 melee heroes that all want to just close the gap, and the Clockwork can give them some issues there. Good hook shot targets hook shot targets. What did I just say? Hook shot targets as well. Crystal Maiden, of course, if she gets hooked, she's pretty much done until she gets a Force Staff or something like that. And Dragon Knight, same can be said about him. I mean, he might not die, but he's for sure just stuck in there. And LGD suspecting that Team Secret gonna go for an all-in push or something like that with the Venomancer pick here. I believe it's something they've done before. I definitely did see other teams try out the Venomancer core here, most notably DC. And I like that. It's something that LGD run themselves as well, so they know the strength of the hero, and Terrorblade needs time to get online. And against the Venomancer, they don't have the heroes to fight into him. Sure, they have some sustain from the Dazzle, but getting a big Poison Nova in a fight is a little bit too much for LGD to want to deal with, as Team Secret already have a number of AoE heroes in a team fight. And
10 seconds to go.
It is a ban that means that LGD just thinking that Team Secret gonna go for an all-in play and not play for the late game, but I wonder what Team Secret will decide to go with here, as LGD actually gonna last pick up the Legion Commander here for 11. So overall, very solid looking draft for LGD. As for Team Secret, I think they are on a bit of a timer. If LGD can get to the late game, and I feel like they have a pretty easy path there as well, with the Night Stalker creating a lot of space for them throughout the first and second nighttime. They definitely will get past that early game fairly well. I think it's up to Crystal Maiden and Sand King to get a lot done, and they will have to play together. Team Secret, once nighttime hits, need to just stick together and go for ganks, go for tower pushes, because otherwise Night Stalker are going to run all over them. And not to mention that, there's always the threat of the Legion Commander or the Queen of Pain coming in as well. Queen of Pain, a very mobile hero, and Legion, when she has her blink, will always be a constant threat to Team Secret. Not really the best dual targets in this game, as Dragon Knight, of course, is very tanky. I mean, Sand King and Earthshaker with a couple items can be fairly tanky as well, but they feel confident in the Legion Commander. Of course, she lanes very well against the Crystal Maiden, and Secret will round out their draft here with the Troll Warlord, and I do like that pick to go head to head against both Legion Commander and the Terrorblade later in the game. It's fairly strong here at man-up battles, but can be susceptible to getting ganked by a Night Stalker or Queen of Pain. His HP pool isn't the highest until he really builds up into items such as a Sanjin Yasha. And we'll see how Team Secret fares, but in terms of the draft, I have to give LGD the advantage here. I like what they have going for them. They got maybe in the mid lane with Queen of Pain. They most importantly got the Night Stalker pick here for Victoria, and I think 11 on the Legion Commander can get a lot of work done in this game as well, as he will for sure have a pretty decent laning stage. So we see here it will be a Yaps or Sand King, while Kezu going to take the offlane Earthshaker, and I think Earthshaker can match up fairly well against a Terrorblade. Just in lane, he can block the creeps, make sure he has good lane equilibrium. Terrorblade and Dazzle don't have the most kill potential on the Earthshaker, but who knows, with the Night Stalker roaming in, Kezu really has to watch himself, especially once nighttime hits. So we're going to get right into the game here. It will be Team Secret versus LGD Gaming in the Summit 7 semifinals. What is that? And let's just turn on free camera real quick here, and let's get right into it, everybody. So as we see here, Yaps are going to TP out. He's going to meet right with 11 here. They're going to give each other a right-click battle, and it looks like 11 will come ahead of it, as he does have a stout shield, while Yapster just merely has boots. He will have the speed advantage. He'll chase 11 away, as the rest of Secret are going to make their ways to the lane. Mid one will be on the mid Dragon Knight. Kezu going to take the off lane Earthshaker Puppy. We'll be playing the 5 position Crystal Maiden. We've got MP on the Troll Warlord, and once again, Yaps are... Oh, I thought he missed. Sometimes that happens, especially on different terrains. You can accidentally put this on a low ground. It happened to me before. On the regular map, not so much, but on the other terrains, like especially, I noticed the Monkey King terrain, it's just actually paid to lose, because it looks like you're putting it on the low ground, but then it looks like you're putting it on the high ground when you click it, but then in actuality you just put it on the low ground and you look dumb. I always thought that would happen. Like from this angle, it looks like you put it on the low ground, but if you check carefully here, it will be on the high ground. So I do like this ward. If he does get it off without being spotted, it is pretty unlikely to be dewarded, and it gives you vision of the rune. As to like ward spots like here or here, I have a higher chance of being dewarded. I also like a ward up here, but of course this is a lot harder to get off without being spotted. And if you see, the Legion Commander did get his ward off, blocking the big camp here. That's going to prevent the Crystal Maiden from farming up there. And it looks like Yaps are going to start in the mid lane, blocking up the wave for mid one, while maybe going to block up his own lane. Doesn't need no help. 9k player there. And of course, it's because Queen of Pain moves a little bit faster than Dragon Knight by 5 move speed, so he's able to get there in time. And Yaps are immediately going to start off with a stun here onto Maybe. And we're going to get a dual lane mid position. And who will come ahead of this? I believe Queen of Pain will. I think just because she is a ranged hero, I mean, she does have less HP and armor to work with than a Dragon Knight, of course. But her harass will be able to come out from range, while Dragon Knight really is reliant on his breathe fire to do most of the harass in this lane. We see Victoria going to immediately rotate out, gets a nice ancient stack here, which can be farmed up later by either the Terrorblade or even Legion Commander. He's going to rotate into the bottom lane. He was spotted out by Yapsar's ward here. He sees that Puppy is pulling, and notice Puppy's positioning here. He's playing very safe to make sure he does not get caught out. And see the Commander just drop a nuke down, gonna clear the creeps, and he's gonna pull the creep wave away back to his own. And in the top lane, as I said, Kezu gonna do fairly well here, as he's able to just control where the lane is with his fidget. You notice that he went for the Quelling Blade just so he can last hit a little bit better under tower. I do like this itemization coming out from Kezu. He realizes that what he can do in lane, and he's just gonna optimize the amount of farm he can get by buying this Quality Blade. He's even actually gonna go for a pull here. Very nice play. Will he get it off? He's gonna get 2 creeps, not bad. And with the Quelling Blade, he can farm up these creeps a little bit faster as well. As he's gonna grab the 2-minute bounty rune too. As for the mid lane, it looks like mid one actually gonna be ahead of maybe at this point. So the help from Yaps are paying off, and it's just because Dragon Knight, not the worst melee hero to go against the Queen of Pain, if not the better ones. I think he does pretty well in this lane, because if you look at Queen of Pain, her damage is pretty good, but if she gets hit by the Dragon Tail, or not Dragon Tail, Breathe Fire, it's going to be 90 damage per harass, and most importantly, that 35% damage reduction. Look at her damage right now, and he can easily outlast hit her at this point with a Quelling Blade, and that's why you see him have 7 denies here. And the Dragon Breath comes out very fast, or the Breathe Fire, I mean, and it's pretty hard for maybe to avoid it. And now we see Yapster with Night Illuminous Rune. He's gonna go for the gank here onto maybe, but maybe with Blink, not even gonna panic. He doesn't even blink away. He's just gonna take it chill and bury himself some tangos. Gonna drop a dagger there onto mid one and try to come back into the lane a little bit, but definitely the Breathe Fire giving him a hard time. Not only is it a decent amount of damage for harass, but it's also a lot of damage reduction for Queen of Pain. As we see MP gonna deal with a dual lane in the off lane. He's not having the best lane in the world. If you look at his CS, it's pretty much on par with the Legion Commander, as he's not receiving much help in this lane. His Crystal Maiden can't really be here, as I mean, she can't harass these heroes, right? I already said that. Legion Commander realizing this and not even leveling Pressed Attack, but let's say if Crystal Maiden was trying to harass this lane, 11 would just have a point in Pressed Attack. He'd just get rid of the Frostbite every time, and Puppey just wasted 140 mana, right? And now we see Puppey rotating in, and they actually realize that there might not be a Pressed Attack, so they're gonna come in with the Frostbite, and they will claim first blood there onto Victoria. LGD being caught by surprise, assuming that Puppey would just be in the jungle, but he comes in, catches Victoria right before nighttime hits, and gets a kill onto him, and that will be first blood. Yapster finds himself a haste rune, wants to snag the bounty rune, but doesn't quite get it. He'll be able to get himself away just fine though. With the mid lane, mid one gonna be taken down very low by the Queen of Pain, and maybe is pretty low himself as well, but with the help of Night Stalker coming in, mid one can't really move forward in the lane. He'll have to back away, get his salve, and now he's even gonna go for a Bottle Crow. And just like that, back to full HP and mana, and he's ready to do some more work in this mid lane. As you look at his CS, it's looking very good. Dragon Knight actually a pretty decent matchup against Queen of Pain. I don't really think so, but he's doing very well, almost doubling up maybe CS at this point, and maybe is, I mean, one of the best mid laners in the world. I guess mid one, it's 9k versus 9k action here in the mid lane. While we look at what's going on top, and we see that Ame is actually just pushing in with his Metamorphosis. Kezu's only level 3, so said that he would get something out of the lane, but now he has to play very careful as the nighttime has hit, and Victoria is also going in looking for a kill here. Kezu is still hiding around in the trees, wants to slow down this push to the best of his ability, but with the catapult coming in, this tower might just be dead. Maybe not though. With the fissure, he can really block off the wave, slow down this push to the best of his ability, but we see catapult coming in. Yapster is here to help out as well. They don't want to lose this tower without a fight. We see Puppey in the area as well. And they're going to keep the tower here. Catapult going to push in, doing a significant amount of damage to the tower, but they're going to back away on the side of LGD as they have this ward here. And they see everything that is going on, and they don't want to lose their safe laner at this point. So with the Metamorphosis ending, we're going to see them pull the lane back and just farm up the jungle a little bit on the mid lane. Mid one still looking very good in terms of his farm against the Queen of Pain, but of course not stopping maybe from getting his levels though, and he's going to be able to rotate and make some plays happen. You look at his build, he didn't even go for a bottle. He just buried out regen. This is his second set of tangos, I believe, that he's called out to himself, and that's going to keep him up in terms of HP as the range drops, but they're quickly getting knocked down by the breathe fire coming in from this DK. Now he's going to turn into a dragon and start to work on the tower. Meanwhile, Yapster finds a stun onto Victoria in the backline here as they're trying to go for a kill potential or attempt onto mid one, but he's way too tanky for that. Instead, Victoria is going to be the one giving the kill away to Secret, and now they're going to push into the tower with this catapult, doing a decent amount of damage, taking the tower around half HP. Yao sending a heal into wave just to try to delay this push, but I think the big thing about Secret is how they lane this Dragonite against Maybe, and this is going to hurt LGD as with maybe this far behind the Dragonite in the mid lane, they're not able to really get ganks off with the Night Stalker. And you see here, Victoria hasn't done anything in this game during his first nighttime. Actually, he's the one who's fed 2 kills away to Secret so far, while their tower has took a ton of damage to this Dragonite. So I think Secret know exactly how to play against this Night Stalker, and I think they have the heroes to do so. As long as Crystal Maiden plays safe, which is what Puppy has been doing, he's really the only hero that's susceptible to dying to this Night Stalker. Sand King, of course, has a stun, has the Sandstorm, forces Victoria to buy a dust, and doesn't even have detection for him, so there's no way Yapster's dying. Same thing can be said for Kezu, who has a lot of stuns with Enchant Totem as well as Fissure, and they will buy enough time for T rotations to come in, and at that point Victoria can't really finish off any kills. And you see there, first nighttime ends without any action happening for LGD. They're still farming it up. Of course, they have the late game, so Secret are not out of the park quite yet. It's looking like a pretty good early game win for them, but they still have a long game to play through. They will have to end the game, and ending game against Chinese team is not the easiest. Let's just say that. And we see here that Terrorblade will rotate into the jungle now. He's going to farm it up very quickly with his level 3 illusions. Going to give some space for Yao to get some levels up in the safe lane. When we look at Old 11, he did a little bit of the same here. He's picked up Iron Talon. Gonna give Victoria a little bit of the lane, but you know, he's gonna come in and farm it up. He's like, no more for you, buddy. Maybe still pretty far behind the DK in terms of farming mid lane. Not only that, but he was gonna be losing his tower fairly shortly here as the second dragon form gonna come out from mid one, and he has a haste rune as well. Position himself very aggressively here, making sure that Maybe gets the heck out of there, and that will be a tower secure for Team Secret. First tower of the game for them. And at this point, they're feeling quite confident in this Dragonite. He's fairly tanky, and they don't really have the damage to deal with him until the Dazzle gets Grave. And at that point, they can drop, or not Grave, the Weave. They can drop the Weave onto him and then chew down his armor. And at that point, they can try to go in and get a duel or something like that. But I'm assuming that mid one knows better, and if he gets too much damage or too much Weave on him, he's just gonna back away, or if he gets weaved at all, they're just gonna back away and look to reset after the weave has ended. And he will be building into Midas, and I like this pickup from Secret as they're gonna have to group up a lot this game to avoid getting picked off by both the Night Stalker as well as Legion Commander. Speaking of Legion Commander, she's actually getting in a little bit of fight here with the Troll Warlord, but she's going to get herself away fairly easily with the phase boost as well as the extra move speed for the overwhelming odds. No way that the Troll was going to catch up there. Still a very slow game for LGD, and speaking about that, we see Kezu get a solo kill there onto Yao in the top lane. Initiated with the Echo Slam. That's unfortunate for him. That kill is pretty big, as that's going to allow Kezu to get a fairly fast Blink Dagger here, and having a fast Blink against Terrorblade can just nullify his scariness. He's a pretty low health hero, as you see here. Even with Strength Treads, he's only up to about 1,000 HP, and getting Echo Slammed into like a Fissure, Enchant Totem, that can just be a dead Terrorblade just from the Earthshaker alone. And we see here, 11 is relatively close to his own Blink Dagger. If you look at the Troll Warlord MP, he's going to be building into a Vlad. That's going to help out his team, give everybody a bit of extra armor as well. And at that point, they're fairly confident in terms of grouping up and pushing towers. And speaking of pushing towers, they're already looking to do so in the top lane here, as the second catapult of the game is going to spawn, and mid one is going to meet up right with it and try to take out this safe lane tower from LGD. and he's hitting fairly fast between the power treads and the Midas. And look at that, he's piling the damage onto the tower. Kezu is here to cover him as well, and after this tower, Kezu will have his Blink Dagger. And this is very big, and in the meantime, LG looking for a kill in the bottom lane, but they can't catch anyone, as Nightstalker couldn't get quite in range for the Void, neither can the Legion Commander for his duel, and so they will just let the Troll get away, and they're going to push the tower instead and go for a trade. But it does not look like mid 1 wants to stop in this top lane. Instead, he's going to keep pushing and try to do a little bit of damage here onto the tier 2. And notice here that they still have the catapult, so there's going to be a lot of damage done to this tower if LGD do not respond immediately. 11 does come in, clears the creep wave, but if you look at this, mid 1 will just tank the tower for his catapult, and as long as his catapult is still hitting, it will do a significant amount of damage. He's going to let the catapult take a little bit of a hit there, but they're going to come in, they want to kill here onto 11. They blink in with the Earthshaker. Yapster's channeling his epicenter, and they're going to commit everything for this 11 kill. They will get him. Grave does not come out in time, and now Yao in a lot of trouble as well. Maybe going to come in with a haste rune though. He wants a kill here. The weave is onto Kezu, but he's just going to TP away. There's a severe lack of disables for LGD compared to Secret, and it's just allowing Secret to get away with murder there. They go super aggressive here onto the Legion Commander, and they just TP out just like that, and everybody gets away. They did lose their bottom tier 1, but they did go for a trade, and look how much damage they're able to do to this tier 2. And next Dragon form, they can just keep doing the same. If you look at mid 1, he's building straight into an armlet, and at that point, I don't know how LGD actually kill him. Of course, they will have to continue the snowball. If they mess up 1 or 2 fights, LGD can make their way back into the game fairly easily, but at this point, maybe is pretty far behind. If you just compare the net worth, it's mostly the towers that have made this difference, but as well as the farm that the Dragon Knight was able to just get on the map. If you look at the Queen of Pain, and she can farm fairly aggressively, but she has things that she needs to be careful about, such as the Earthshaker, Blink Dagger, the Root from the Crystal Maiden, Sand King with a stun, of course Dragon Knight with a stun as well. While Dragon Knight, he can farm aggressively as he wants. Just look where he is right now, nowhere near the rest of his team. I mean, I guess they're nearby with a smoke ready to pounce, but at this point he is alone, and he'll take a long time for LG to take down. And if you look at what LGD are doing, they're not even gonna go on to Secret at this point, and this is nighttime. This is when they're supposed to be strong, but they're just not feeling confident. Secret's 5-man is just way too strong at this point, and we're gonna see mid 1 solo dolo take down this tier 2. Terrorblade gonna send an illusion to scout. The smoke will pop on the side of Secret, and they're gonna get spotted now by the Night Stalker. We're gonna see a blink duel here onto the Earthshaker. Very good target for LG to take out. That's gonna be no Echo Slam, no fissures. They're looking for more here. Oh, DK maybe in a lot of trouble. Metamorphosis is gonna be popped. They're trying to chase mid 1 down. MP gonna come in, and well, we see the grave here onto 11. Oh, it's not even needed, and Terrorblade illusions are doing a ton of damage here as the Secret heroes are weaved up, and Yapsor does manage to get away with the stun here, and once again will he get away? Oh no, this time Night Stalker is there with the Void, and they're gonna get 2 kills. They lose their top tier 2, but finally LGD with some kills on the map. Did have to use the Metamorphosis for that, but one thing that LGD have going for them is this Terrorblade is very farmed, and in terms of having ways to stop his split push, they can TP heroes, they can bring heroes to him, but that's gonna split Secret up, and that is when LGD shines. So I really like what they have going for them, as they have a split push hero that naturally forces enemy teams to split up, right? Because let's say that Secret decide to just go full 5-man, alright, we're just gonna run down lanes. Terrorblade's gonna see that, and he's gonna just push down a side lane. He can push not as fast as Secret, of course, because they do have a Dragon Knight and a Troll, but he's gonna be at a decent rate compared to them, and so he'll be able to go for a trade for sure. And speaking about trade, let's see how LGD actually respond to this Aegis attempt from Team Secret. They're going to go into Roshan and try to claim an Aegis for most likely the Troll Warlord. I don't think mid 1 needs it. We'll see who actually they decide to have pick it up, but it looks like they're going to give Aegis away to Secret. They either don't know what's going on, they're going to use a scan, alright? They know what's up now, but they know that they can't get in position in time to defend this. And if they lose a fight here, it could be disastrous. So they're going to let Secret have the Roshan. MP going to grab the Aegis, and In the meantime, we're going to see Earthshaker will have to TP to the top lane to defend. Unfortunately, doesn't make it in time. Tower will fall to the catapult. Well, if you look at maybe he's also pushing down the bottom lane. LGD doing a fairly good job of split pushing so far. They know that Secret wants to stay relatively grouped up, and they're going to make use of the space on the map where Secret cannot be. And notice as soon as they pressured the top lane with the catapult pushing in, now they have a catapult pushing in bottom. This is just forcing Secret to go back. This is buying them time, first of all, and second of all, giving them information as well, and potentially setting up ganks for LGD. But notice, Kazu just TP'd to the top lane, and he did not waste any time. Walked immediately bottom to sit behind mid one. Secret know that they can't split up too much. Let's say mid one TP down here, he was alone. He could have been picked off if LGD were in position. So having the Earthshaker behind means that they can cover him in case something goes wrong. Of course, they can leave NP a little bit more out there as he does have the Aegis. And mid one looks like he wants to push all the way down through this bottom lane and take out this tier 1. The last tier 1 for LGD, and he's going to be able to push very fast now with the level 2 dragon form. He is building straight into a BKB. He has his armlet up and his BKB is almost there as well. Very farmed Dragon Knight. Top of the net worth about 1,000 gold above the Terrorblade that has been free farming. So mid one is surely fat, and they're gonna join the troll with DK here, and they're gonna go with a 2-man push down the bottom lane with Earthshaker behind to cover. You look at Yapsor and Crystal Maiden, they are off on their own right now, but it is daytime. They're not really at threat of dying, and Yapsor's just trying to get some space to farm his blink. Kind of a late blink, but that's because he really not is able to split up as much against a Night Stalker and a Legion Commander in this game. But finally, he'll find some space to get his blink dagger, and he'll pick it up right now. And LGD not responding to the bottom push at all. They're going to let their tier 2 go. They're still looking to farm it up. Let's look at their items real quick here. Legion Commander wants to build into a Blade Mail. She's still pretty far away from it. Night Stalker has no real items. Of course, Dazzle has no real items. What is maybe's first item here? She's going to be building into an Orchid on this Queen of Pain. She's still pretty far away from it, but she'll have it for the next fight when Secret do decide to push into this tier 2 or potentially go high ground. As Dragon Form is actually up. It was an Arcane Rune Dragon Form. I forgot about that. So he does have Dragon Form up again. They're ready to push. You look at Old 11 and Dazzle, Yao. They're trying to set up a gank here, but instead Yapsor is going to be one going onto them. And Yao has to be careful. Oh, he's going to be able to get out. First Strike was still cooling down. Terrorblade will have a Manta style now, and he's just running straight down the bottom lane, building into a BKB as his first mid-game item, as it is very important against the Earthshaker, as I mentioned, as well as all their heroes, of course. Crystal Maiden does a lot of magic damage. Sand King, most of the damage coming out from Secret is magic damage, except for the Troll Warlord and the Dragon Knight. And speaking about the Dragon Knight, he's going to pop his Dragon Form. He's going in for this mid-tier 2, and it will fall incredibly quickly. And at this point, I'm assuming Secret are going to go high ground, and this is the true test for LGD. Will they be able to defend this? Their Night Stalker has been entirely nullified from Secret. He hasn't done anything in this game, and we're having a slow game in general. The score is 4-2. Most of this game has just been pushes and farming, as it is Secret pushing and LGD farming and going for the split push. And speaking about a split push, look at the bottom tier 2. It is taking a fair bit of damage here to the Terrorblade illusion, but because their high ground was being threatened and speaking about high ground, there was a lot of damage done to that tower. But Victoria actually just going to get caught out here by Yapsor. He's going to go down, and now they're going to push straight back through into this mid lane. Unfortunately, they won't have Dragon Form anymore though, and so they may not decide to push high ground, but this tier 3 is looking pretty juicy. And Ame, realizing that it is kind of unlikely that Secret go for high ground push, he's going to move his way to the bottom lane to start to try to pressure it a little bit more, as he does have a catapult coming in. Where's the catapult? And Puppy's going to be there right now, just defending. He realizes he's pretty safe here. Maybe we'll have his Orchid up now, as well as a regen rune. And I think, yep, perfect time for LGD to smoke. We're going to send Ame down this bottom lane, and they're going to try to meet the rest of Secret here. If Secret go onto Ame, and they can turn around the fight with the big Sunder or something like that. But Secret are ready. They have all 5 down here. No one is splitting up. Aegis, of course, will expire right now, as I mention it. And they're going to go in, find MP. Duel going to come onto the Dragonite, but is he the target to go on, though? He's taking absolutely no damage at all. He was weaved up, but he did not lose much armor yet. And now we see the Epicenter come onto Yao, but huge Echo Slam onto maybe in the back line. But no, he's going to be able to turn around with the Orchid. So the fight is looking fairly even right now. Terrorblade is still alive and healthy. What is going on with it? Maybe he's getting stunned. He can't move. Stun. He will be able to blink away. Meanwhile, we look at Terrorblade in the back line. He's in a lot of trouble, but he does get graved up. He has the Sunder, but mid one is already so low HP. It doesn't matter. Did he actually toggle his armlet off for that so that he would get less HP? I don't think so. But alright, it looked like it might have been a good fight for LGD. Unfortunately, there was nothing for Terrorblade to Sunder. Maybe he got chain locked down. He did end up going down here as well. And so that will be a 1-for-4 trade, or 1-for-5 trade for LGD. Or for Secret, I mean. And you see there, they're going to be able to push high ground now, potentially. Oh no, Dragon Form is ending, so they're just going to farm up LGD's side of the map a little bit here. They're going to Sandstorm, they're going to take the Ancients, they're going to take the medium camp, they're going to take the big camp, and now they're going to move away as LGD are respawning. That was a potential for a good fight for LGD, but Secret were prepared and they came in swinging there. Of course, they lost MP, but they take that. They took out all 5 from LGD, and that's a pretty significant gold swing. And speaking about gold, you see the net worth right now, and we do see that Secret are around a 10,000 net worth advantage here against LGD. Pretty significant, but this Terrorblade still has potential to wreak havoc once it comes to high ground defenses. He needs his BKB most importantly, and he is about less than halfway there. So this is a little bit troubling for LGD, but in terms of their high ground defense, it's still formidable. One thing is they can just drop the weave, and at that point you really don't want to continue pushing, because once your armor takes it down, Terrorblade is gonna hit like a truck. And oh, look at this, maybe actually building into a Shadow Blade. He wants some way to deal with the Dragon Knight's passive, and with the Silver Edge he's going to be able to do just that. But oh no, Victoria getting caught out once again. Night Stalker being caught out time and time again. That's 1 and 5 for him now, and Legion Commander comes in there to try to save his life. He goes down as well, and so that's going to be a 2-for-0 trade. Secret with 2 more kills. Roshan is spawning in Maze respawn in about 10 seconds. Not too soon. So we can see LGD stall out the game for a little bit more here, probably until the 30-minute mark. But maybe not. Secret looking to go high ground though. With after these 2 deaths, they're feeling confident. They didn't expend anything for those kills, so they're gonna go high ground right now. Level 3 Dragon Form. He's a Frost Dragon. He's hitting fast here with the Troll Ultimate. Or was that? That was Troll Ultimate. They're going to go straight in there with the stun. He does have a blink onto mid one now. That's going to allow him to initiate. I like the build. And he's actually close to an AC. They actually can't defend this. He has way too much armor. They didn't catch him with the weave either, so he's actually unkillable. Oh, no, they don't manage to take the racks. They get a little bit afraid as Legion Commander comes in there, and they're going to back away. I'm surprised they didn't commit for that one. They're really afraid of LGD turning this one around. So mid one, he had everything there. He had BKB. He wasn't affected by the weave. Instead, they're gonna back away, take the shrine. LGD will have to fight into a high ground for this one, and they're gonna fly up with Victoria. The dust comes out, and here comes Ame with his Terrorblade. But what I was saying before, here comes the Echo Stand. Bye all his illusions. He does get Graves and the Sunder off, but now they're missing the Night Stalker as well as the Legion Commander. There is no duel anymore. And oh, nice 2-man stun from Yap, so it gets the Terrorblade, gets maybe as well, and this is looking to be a 5-man wipe, if not the game for LGD. They're just gonna call good game. They use the Sonic Wave to kill the Courier, and that is that. Score is 16-3, and Secret gonna take this first game against LGD. They made the Night Stalker look silly. I was hyping up the Night Stalker, and I just didn't realize he actually couldn't do anything in this game. Dragon Knight was way too tanky. I think it was mid one. on how he played that mid lane against Maybe. He got super far ahead in terms of CS, and at that point, I mean, he just wasn't killable. Night Stalker had no place to be there. Really nice plays from Yapster as well. Played as a unit with the Crystal Maiden for the most part, went for ganks together, made sure that they controlled the early game and did not give anything to the Night Stalker, and if anything, they took from him, as he was the one dying on the side of LGD, trying to make plays. Secret responding to this Night Stalker pick very well, as well as the Queen of Pain pick, and I think next time LGD will think twice about just picking their strategy right off the bat there with Night Stalker, Queen of Pain. They played against teams that weren't able to respond to it before, but now it looks like Secret have the answers with Puppy's draft here. And what they actually draft there, Crystal Maiden, Sand King, right? First two, so they already knew, because those heroes, if they stick together, gives Night Stalker a fairly hard time. There's a lot of slows, stuns as well, and he can't really just run free, right? Crystal Maiden alone will be able to get taken out by Night Stalker, of course, right? Because what is she gonna do? Very slow hero against a super fast, I don't know what the fuck, bat demon thing. But with the Sand King there, he's always going to be able to provide that stun, allow Crystal Maiden time to get the Frostbite off, and then at that point, what does Night Stalker do? And then they have Dazzle support, so he's not going to be able to put any pressure on the map, and Secret was able to just to farm freely, get their timings up on their heroes, most notably the Dragonite was super fat there. They got the Roshan, and LGD just wasn't able to fight into them. If they could hold with the Weave and buy time for the Terror Blade to hit, I mean, I see the potential in the team fight there, because they can just drop the Weave, and at that point, the Secret have to back, otherwise a duel comes in, and then Terror Blade wails on it, one target, kills them, and then they just chase with the Queen of Pain and the Night Stalker. But that never happened for Secret, because they were always so far ahead that LGD was never confident to fight, and until that last high ground fight there, I think LGD just got impatient, chased Secret out of the base, they lost everybody, and they just called GG. So well played from Secret there in game 1, and I'll see you guys back for game 2.